Hello and welcome to the AncientCraft safety briefing. This is just the short video that accompanies all the various knapping and stoneworking videos that I've got here on YouTube. I've put it as a separate video just to save time really, so you don't have to watch it in the introduction of every single video. I'll get straight to it. One of the most important things is a pair of goggles when you're knapping to cover your eyes. They can be like these sunglass style goggles, or they can be the big geeky science goggles, anything that's covering your eyes properly really, as long as they're proper safety goggles, and of course they are actually on your eyes rather than decorating your head. The next thing, to cover your hands this time, a pair of cut resistant or thick gloves, and they can just be leather gardening gloves or these kind of work gloves. You may see some knappers work with a glove on one hand, and that's usually their flint or stone holding hand, usually the weaker hand. Some knappers don't wear gloves at all. I strongly recommend you wear gloves. If you don't, there's a very good likelihood that you will get cut. I do sometimes, but certainly if you're learning knapping or just getting into it, I really would recommend a pair of gloves. You might also see that I'm wearing a pair of trousers as well. That's really just to protect your legs with the sharp flakes going past. That's also why I've got this leather pad on my leg as well, because when I'm striking the flint, you'll have those razor sharp flakes going past the inside of your leg. Important place to protect, there's some pretty thick arteries there, so you just want those flakes to go right past and not cause you any bother at all. I'd also recommend some sturdy footwear as well, no flip-flops or any open shoes, because you can get flakes wedged in between, and certainly with something with strong soles as well, just so they don't poke through. It is quite painful. In terms of where to do your knapping, it's not just about what you're wearing or doing, but where you're actually operating. I do strongly recommend doing flint knapping outside. Really, the top thing there is that as you knap, yes, of course you take those large flakes off you see, but you do also create a large amount of dust that is sometimes quite difficult to see. Flint knapping wasn't just done in prehistory to make cutting instruments, it was also used in more recent times to make gun flints in places like Brandon in Norfolk. And there'd be young men who'd work in very poorly ventilated sheds and workshops, sometimes 6 days a week for long hours. And in the end, they would die when they were in their early 30s purely through silica ingestion, and that's really something you want to avoid. Whereas if you work outside, it'll all be blown away and you won't be inhaling any. If you are doing it inside and you have a well ventilated garage or workshop, I recommend you have windows or doors open. In terms of what's on the ground, if you do have that handy indoor workshop that's easy to sweep, well, then of course you know what to do, carefully sweep it. Just be aware of the dust, either have a mask on or keep it well ventilated. If you're doing it outside, use a heavy duty tarp or canvas, as you can see that I'm on at the moment. There's two reasons why you want to collect up your flakes, particularly if you're outside. One is that you don't want to stand on them at a later date, and you don't want other people or animals to stand on them because it's quite painful. The other thing is the archaeological contamination that you can cause. Now, you may be thinking, archaeological contamination? Well, there's no real difference between the flakes that you might make and those that are thousands of years old. And if you just leave them on the ground or scatter them out in a nearby field or woodland, they can be picked up at a later date and confused for archaeological material. It has happened, please don't do it. The best thing to do is, once you've collected up all your flakes, either poured them out of the tarp or scoop them up with your broom, is to put them in a strong container like a builder's bucket, take them to your local rubbish tip where they crush hardcore and mix it with concrete, or if you have a quarry nearby, they will often do exactly the same and it'll all get mixed in with concrete, and the pieces are crushed up to such small sizes that you can't confuse them archaeologically. That's the most responsible way and reasonable way I've found with dealing with worked flint once you've finished using it. So really that's about it, and I hope it's useful. Do just come back to this video anytime to refresh your exciting health and safety knowledge, but I hope you enjoy the rest of my videos.